My 10 most listened to albums of June 2025. Here they are. Let's get right into it. My number one in June of 2025 was this Brown Fang, Netherfield Lagoons. I would highly recommend this album to anybody who appreciates relaxing yet menacing, slightly danceable, Balearic style electronic music. If you get my drift. And if you don't get my drift, then you should investigate. You should be very curious about this album. I really like this album. It's been out for a couple of months. I think it came out in May, maybe before that, but I didn't pick it up until June. And I've been really enjoying this the past month. Brown Fang, Netherfield Lagoons. I know nothing about them. I don't know where they're from. I don't know who they are. And frankly, I don't really care. I am enjoying the mystery that surrounds this album, at least mysterious to me. Really love the cover too. Check out this artwork. I was very taken with the artwork before I heard the music. Then I listened to some sound clips and I had to jump on board. And this is a really good album. I was not disappointed. Those of you who like experimental electronic music in all of its forms, I cannot recommend Brown Fang Netherfield Lagoons enough. I really do recommend it. I love this album. One of the better albums I've heard this year, quite frankly. Check this album out. I think most people who watch my channel enjoy music that's left of center, and this would definitely fall into that category. Brown Fang, Netherfield Lagoons. I think if you were to generically define it, you might put it in the Balearic column, but I think it's a little too dark to generalize the categorization into Balearic. I think that's fair if you want to put it in the Balearic tag, but I think it covers a lot of other tags. Highly recommend that album. Check it out. My number two, and I was very excited to get this, is the new Petre Inspirescu album, Traces of the Wind. I love Petre. Been a big fan of this guy. I don't know, it seems like 15, 16 years now at least. This guy's been putting out records. He hasn't put out a lot lately in recent years. He was very busy for a while, and then the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, he hasn't done a lot. You really haven't seen his name. But this just suddenly dropped a couple of weeks ago, and I've been playing it a lot. Love Petre, Traces of the Wind, his new album. And his new album, it's only 4 songs, but you Petre fans know that his songs are very long. Most times his songs go well over the 10-minute mark. So you get 4 songs, it's a double record though, and each side of vinyl fills up. There are a couple of 17-minute tracks, and his songs are these long meditative practices, and they're very cool. Traces of the Wind, he's basically stripped his music of all beats. The music is very much Petre, but he's focusing on the rhythm now. He's taken out the four to the floor beats that he's focused on in the past. Again, his music hasn't really changed much, but he's taken the beats out. I don't mind that. I'm sure plenty of people who are into his club music, which is the majority of what he's done, they might disapprove of him taking out the four to the floor energy, but I like it. It's really the same music. He's just taking the thumping beats out, really focusing on the rhythms, the mood. The classical influences are there. You hear the symphonies in the background, just no beats. I don't have a problem with that. Really love this album. I'm just happy to see Petre back. He hasn't done a lot of stuff. I haven't seen his name pop up on any 12 inches as a remixer. Really, he's been pretty quiet. So I'm happy to see him back. This is a really cool album. And you Petre fans, you hardcore fans at least, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this. I think most Petre fans have already picked this up. It's been out for a few weeks now. Really excellent stuff. Petre is a one-of-a-kind artist. He's very unique. Those of you who don't know, he's a Romanian guy. His music is very complicated, very cool. His music, most of his music you could put under the club tag, but there's just so much more nuance to it. It's very complicated dance music. He takes it to another level. I would recommend anybody check out Petre Inspirescu, any of his releases. This is his new album, Traces of the Wind. Excellent stuff. My third most listened to album of June of 2025 is the new Cosey Fanni Tutti album. Tutti 2, right? Tutti 2. Cosey Fanni Tutti. You know Cosey, Chris and Cosey, Throbbing Gristle. Her. We all know Cosey Fanni Tutti, don't we? Her new album is great. I've never heard a bad Fanni Tutti album anyway, regardless of what she's involved with, whether it's Chris and Cosey or Throbbing Gristle or her own records. Her new solo record is really good, really cool. It starts off maybe more dancey, and then as the album progresses, it gets more dark, more insulated, less beats, more inward, and better. An album that really grows, an album that evolves. And I love it. And I'm just generally a fan of everything she does. I have been for a very long time. I don't think she's ever put out anything that's any anything less than very, very interesting. And this new album is fantastic, I think. Arguably the best thing she's done in decades. I think it's excellent. I'd be interested to hear what you Cozy fans think of this new record. I don't think it's really that much of a departure of anything she's done, but I do think it's nonetheless excellent. What do you think? Very much a fan of the new album from Cozy Fanny Tootie. I will always enjoy what she does. Here's a number of albums that I've already talked about, but they're the most played albums of the month of June, and that's what I'm doing here. Here's Pulp More. I already did my video on this. Really love this album. It's grown on me. I liked it from the very first time I heard it. It's more Jarvis. We love Jarvis. We love Pulp. And their first album in a very long time is excellent. I already did my video on that. You can go watch that if you like. Here's another one I've already done a video on, The Cure, Mixes of a Lost World. Another album that just kind of grows on me. I know it's a compilation of sorts, but I don't care. It's still an album, and I've been listening to it quite a bit. There's just so much music on this thing. You can't possibly soak it all in one listen. So I've listened to it repeatedly over the past month. The Cure, Mixes of a Lost World. Here's another one I've already done a video on. Death Mask by Death in Vegas. Richard Fearless. Already did my video. Won't you please go watch that video if you're a Death in Vegas fan? On heavy rotation in the past month for me. Here's one I have not done a video on. Brian Eno and BD Wolf. Lateral. It's Brian Eno. What do you think? I'm not going to listen to a Brian Eno album? A new album? It just came out, I think last month, maybe the month before that, actually. But in the month of June 2025, I was listening to Lateral quite a bit. Very ambient album. I know, it's a shocker coming from Brian Eno, right? Excellent stuff here, man. I mean, what do you think? Brian Eno only gets worse with age? No, he gets better with age. This is an excellent work. And it's Brian Eno. I mean, you pretty much kind of know what you're getting, right? But that's not always true. Brian Eno always kind of he throws something new in the works every time you hear a Brian Eno release. Sure, it's ambient, but it's going to be something else, and that's what this is. And he's very much a collaborative person, and he's working with BD Wolf here, and I would highly recommend Lateral. I would also highly recommend the other album he did here with BD Wolf called Luminal. This is more of a collection of shorter tracks, some vocal tracks even. Still very much ambient, but it's got some pop sensibility to it. Luminal and Lateral are very good companion pieces. I wouldn't get one without the other. Highly recommend both of these. It's a new Brian Eno album. What are you going to do? Not listen to it? Of course you're going to listen to it. Go check out the new Brian Eno albums, Lateral and Luminal. They're both excellent. Those are my number 7 and 8 most listened to albums of June of 2025. And you probably notice I'm focusing on albums this time and not songs. These are albums that I've listened to the most in the month of June. And the 9th and 10th releases I'm going to point out are both compilations, but they are compilations of brand new material. Number 9 is this, Dias de Campo. Very random, very underground release. This is a Spanish label that I have very much liked in recent years. The music they put out is old school techno music. Techno and house music that might remind you of the 90s. It's got a very 90s sensibility to it. This Dias de Campo comp you see here is a 4 record set, and it's loaded with goodness. Any of you who like that deep techno house sound from the 90s, I think you'll find a lot to enjoy about this compilation. It's really, really cool. And this was a very unexpected pickup for me. I wasn't expecting this. I didn't know it was coming out. I knew nothing about it. It just popped up on the Juno website as I was doing my daily trolling rounds of Juno, as I have done for years. This popped up, and I was like, wow, I need to have this. It was very expensive, but I didn't care. I picked it up. It's awesome. You can't, to my knowledge, you can't download it anywhere. Maybe on Bandcamp. I think maybe Bandcamp had it, but it was a very high price. I just picked up the vinyl because I wanted it. Dias de Campo. I would highly recommend this label if you like old school, quirky dance music with that 90s flavor to it. And my 10th release, and this is something that's been out, I don't know, I think it's been out for a couple months. I hesitated at first before purchasing it because this also had a very stiff price tag, but it's also a 6 record set. This is Long Play 2, and this is on the Played by Romania label, a collection of Romanian artists going back to Romania, like Petre. This is a collection of Romanian techno house experimental artists, which I love. I love this whole Romanian scene. I've been following it very closely for well over a decade. And it's got a collection of some of my favorites, like Lazar Cesar, Lazar Caesar, however you say his name. I don't care. He's great. He's on here. Sit is also on here. Sit is Vlad Kaya and Christy Cons. Those types of guys. Subley is also on here. And then a whole host of other names that I've never recognized. It's 6 records filled with detail-oriented electronic dance music. Yeah, if you want to be lazy, you can call it techno and house and whatever. Sure. Those tags also apply, but I call it detail-oriented dance music. Head music for the dance floor. Awesome stuff. Really been getting into this. Long Play 2 on Played by Romania. Those are my 10 most listened to and most revisited albums of June of 2025. Won't you check them out? I think you should. I highly recommend all of them. They're all excellent. I hope you're well, and I will talk to you next time. Goodbye.